This is the front side of the vacuum pump. We're going to overhaul. So first of all, we're going to remove these 6 bolts on the top. And again, you only want to do one side of a vacuum pump at a time. So remove the bolts and just lift the cap off. Sometimes there's a lot of grease inside, burnt out and stuff. This is a clean, quite new one. So you'll remove these springs, washers. Then you want to take the tab off the lock washer, knock it back down so it frees off the nut. Loosen the nut off. Unscrew it. Now take off the lock washer. Now you want to take off all the 6 bolts around here. Now you take M8, or they're normally M10 bolts, and put them into the locating holes at the side. This will help release the bearing off the shaft, like so. Do it evenly and it will come up quite nicely. And that's the old gasket, so you would want a new one for reinstalling it. So now you've got the bearing on the workbench. The easiest way to get this off is to use a puller. Slots in the side here. It's got 2 hooks, but if you're offshore you probably won't have this. So another way is to drill down the side of the bearing, because we're going to replace it. You can drill in the side of it and pull it that way with a normal puller. And if you can't do that with a puller, the other way is there's shims in the back of here that move like this. You want to push the shims to the side and get like a punch with a hammer, and you can actually knock it out that way and just work your way round and round like so. So you can work it off the seat and you'll hear it touch the bench. Once it does that, you can put it on its side and chop around and it should come out quite easy. Just remember, when it comes out, all the shims and stuff will probably fall out with it, so just keep note of what is where and how it goes back in. So here we've got the shims and we've got the washer there. So this is how it came out. Doesn't matter which washers are what thickness and where. Just put them all back in the same place to demonstrate how it all came out. Bearing, washer, and then the shims. Remember, the big washer has to be curving in towards the vacuum pump. Okay, so back to the shaft again. Remove these 4 bolts. Remove the plate. Now you want to remove a little O-ring here. Now remove the shaft gently. There could be trap pressure again, so just be careful. And then just use a screwdriver or a seal removing tool to get the seal out. There we go. So when you're putting a new seal in, you just have to be careful that you're not going to damage it in any way. Okay, so we've taken the 10 bolts out the side of the housing, so now we're just going to relocate 3 of them into these parts here that there's no hole on the other side, so it can press open the other side like so. So they're quite tight because they're on dowels all around, so you just have to keep working your way around on these 3 bolts, pushing the halves apart. So just get a friend to help it lift it off, and now you can inspect, make sure the fans are okay, and there's no broken fans, nothing that looks unusual. There's no blockages in the fans, just clean them out, give it a good pressure wash if you see any fans blocked. Now you can scrape off the excess sealer on the faces. See the sealer here. Also in this groove here, there's always a really big buildup of mud if it's been flooded a few times. You also want to replace that plastic bit. Now this is a demonstration of quite a badly worn one. It's got a lot of salt inside and the fans were breaking apart. See the build up in the top here. So you can use a pressure washer and then you can see it's all cleared down the bottom. So this is the multi-purpose sealant. You just put that round the edge about 1 inch away from the fan. One other thing, you want to make sure that the sides are clear, and lift and set it into the dowels and bolt it all back up. Right, so now your new seal, you could put some grease onto your finger and rub it on the inside and the outside of the seal and place it over the shaft without damaging it. You also want the lip part of the seal facing outwards like the other side. Just press that in and then put your cover over the top and put the 4 nuts back on. Tighten that down. Okay, and next you will take the O-ring, grease that up, slide that over into place. Once you have done that, you will need a new gasket, and you will be able to place the bearing cover over the top. Make sure the grease plug is facing upwards. Slot it over and you can bolt all this in with 6 bolts. Make sure there's no grease, old grease inside to clean all that up and tighten it all solid down. Okay, so now we've got the grease for the bearing. You want to take your new bearing and pack in this grease on both sides. You want to be using the correct grease for this bearing. So once the bearing is completely covered, you want to take the front cover and put about 2 to 3 fingers worth of grease inside the cover like this. Now just place that to the side. Now take your shims and put them back inside. If you've got a new bearing, it's the same amount of shims that you took out for the tolerances because it's all based on the shaft. So slide that over. Now take your washer, put that over, make sure it's facing downwards. Now take your nice new bearing, slide it over. Now to put it into place, you want to have a socket or some kind of sleeve to tap to the middle of this inside of the bearing. You don't want to be doing it from the outside, always the inside of the bearing. So chap this until it's all the way down. Once it's all the way down, new lock washer and new gasket. So put the lock washer over the top. Now take your nut. The nut has to have the groove facing downwards. Tighten this up. Once it's tightened up, you want to take your lock washer and pinch it up into the groove, like so. Now take your spring washers and place them over the top. Then the new gasket, and then put your cover plate over the top. Make sure the drain is facing downwards, like so. Now just put your bolts back on, and that is you done.